know the sun's sitting fast, and just like they say, nothing good ever lasts. Go on now and kiss it goodbye, but hold on to your love because your heart's bound to die. Go on now and say goodbye to our town, to our town. Can't you see the sun sitting down on our town, on our town? Good night. Now I sit on the porch, watch lightning bugs fly. I can't see too good, I got tears in my eyes. I'm leaving tomorrow, but I don't want to go. I love you, my town, you'll always live in my soul. And you know the sun's sitting fast, and just like they say, nothing good ever lasts. Go on now and kiss it goodbye, but hold on to your love because your heart's bound to die. Go on now and say goodbye to our town, to our town. Can't you see the sun sitting down on our town, on our town? Good night.
Good evening and welcome to this week in review. Tonight's stories include Terry Fox Run a success, BBS Dishes have a new look, and the council report. These stories plus the community events, the BBS Playbill, Off the Rack, and more coming up after this.
I've been a part of the Warm Chant program because I was born with only one hand. They cover the expenses of my arms and all my different devices.
The services they provide, the financial help, the emotional help, the information, the War Amps has certainly eased the path quite a bit.
They made me confident in myself. You have to believe in yourself and you'll achieve your dreams.
On Sunday, September the 26th, the Terry Fox Run went ahead as scheduled. Approximately 100 people registered for the Terry Fox Run. Ruth Tucker told us that this has remained about the same for the past 5 years. There has been some new members joining the walk and some older members unable to participate for various reasons. Approximately $2,000 was raised again this year. This amount is on par with previous years. This year it may be slightly higher due to the fact that more t-shirts had to be ordered. When we arrived at the community center, the Lioness members were busy doing out registration forms and collecting pledges. Mrs. Tucker was taking donations and names for the Wall of Hope. Before the official opening, Mrs. Tucker held a draw for a t-shirt, and the winner was Melissa Kendall, daughter of Marie and Tony Kendall. The Lioness Club generously donated the t-shirt for the draw, as well as all the refreshments for the juice stands. Mrs. Tucker started the Terry Fox Run by welcoming everyone and thanking them for their support over the past years. She gave some background information on Terry Fox and the amount of money that has been raised in his name over the past 20 years. Then prayers were offered up for all those who have given up the battle against this dreadful disease, and also for all those who have won the battle and those who are continuing in their fight against cancer. Then all participants lift for the Terry Fox Run. they took advantage of the juice stands along the route, which was the same as last year. Once the run was completed, everyone was asked to return to the community center to pick up their participation certificates and stickers. Congratulations to the Terry Fox Run on another successful year. Thanks to everyone who supported the run in any way. Your continued and generous support is greatly appreciated. The BBS satellite dishes have a fresh new look. Dean Sims Anderson was commissioned to redo the BBS dishes. He has given them a great new look with a cartoonish tone. The first is of a seagull, since we are sometimes called the Burgeo gulls. In the background is a fisherman. Burgeo is well known for its fishing estuary. The second dish was supposed to be of the BBS logo, similar to the ones in the peaks of the BBS building. However, the design didn't go well with the other two dishes. Now it is a picture of Boar Island with a silhouette of a dragger in the background. In the foreground is a sheepish-looking red crab. The third dish depicts Burgeo Road and Pansy from Pansy's Garden driving a convertible. To one side of the road we see a tuk-tuk, which are commonly seen on the Burgeo Road. The dishes now have a fresh new look that depicts the spirit of our community, and because of the cartoon tone, makes them fun. Many have agreed that Dean has done a superb job with our BBS dishes. These were his own designs, and we think they will be enjoyed for a long time to come. Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review coming up after this.
Hey, Travis.
Get some friends, loser.
Bro, you alright, man?
Yeah.
Let me up here.
Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll
See you around?
be your friend.
Yeah.
Character.
I'll help you
Pass it on.
carry on.
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
It won't be long.
Now over to Mayor Ann with the council report.
Good evening. Burgeo Town Council report for Wednesday, September the 29th, 2004. We held our regular meeting and we had 5 members in attendance. 2 of our members were out of town. I haven't got too much more to report to you with regards to the water treatment plant. Other than that, the adjuster for DuraPro, Mr. Harry Cumber, was in town week before last, or last week rather. And I had some conversation with him. He had an electrical engineer in with him. So it appears as if, you know, the investigations and the adjusters, I don't know whether I should say they're still doing their work or they're trying to see how much money the adjusters can get from this far. I've got my own thoughts on it. Brook Enterprises, who is the main contractor, have informed me that they've got nothing to respond to. You know, there's the insurance companies haven't given them anything to react to, and that's where the town finds itself. Nobody has said yes and nobody has said no. It's just one of those things that's up there, and thrown in with this is the season we just went through, which is summer, and then you runs into this thing, well, Mr. So-and-so is out on holidays for the next 2 weeks. So it's been very difficult to tie something down and get something going. With regards to the provincial government, who I've told you before is the biggest stakeholders in this job, they've got nothing, and they seems to be just holding the line and trying to wait until we're being given a yes or a no that the thing is going to proceed, and then we've got to react to that. However, having said that, this morning, and this is, I'm doing this on Thursday, just after our town council meeting. We had the town council meeting Wednesday night. Well, on Thursday morning, shortly before 9 o'clock, I did have a call from Brook Enterprises, Mr. Sandy Murphy, and I must say the man seems fairly sincere. That it appears to me as if Brooks have added up to air with the insurance companies as well. And he says Mr. Murphy and Mr. Tid Burton, who is the CEO of Brook Enterprises, have held a meeting this week, and they've said enough is enough. And they're gone to the insurance companies to tell them that enough is enough, that this thing has been investigated enough, and they want some answers. And so therefore, hopefully, and I do say that hopefully, that we will be getting answers in the very near future, and that the answers will be favorable to us. And so, you know, we've just got to wait. It's driving us nuts, I'll be quite honest with you, not knowing what's happening. But you've got to bear with us, and once we've got something, well, then we'll know which way we've got to go. And hopefully, when the word do come, it will be that everything is in order and to proceed putting the system back in service. So that's where it sits, and there's nothing more I can do about it. With regard to our beautification contest, I guess as many of you know, the judges did go out and judge the properties for the names that they had, and we were given a report at the meeting. The winners were number 1 was Bernard Benoit, number 2 was Neil Spencer, and number 3 was Ms. Elda Warren. As I'd like to congratulate them, and as I said, there was 20 properties that were judged due to the fact that you had to submit your name. However, according to the judges, as they went around, they saw property, you know, that should have been entered and probably would have been strong contenders. However, the names weren't there, and the judges also were unanimous in their opinion that this is the only way that it can be done, is by submitting the names, because there's property that very few people see that is really, really done up. So I pass that on, just a reminder to you next year. You know, this is not a contest for the, I'll say, the not so well-to-do or for the rich or anything. Everybody should get in this, because it really is interesting, I think, for people who've got those green thumbs, and it does make our town look good. So regardless of who you are, you know, next year consider it and get your name in. We as a town is preparing for next year. We know that the judging was done too late this year. Therefore, it was agreed last night. So that's what we're looking forward to in this, that next year the judging will be done between August the 15th and August the 20th. So we've got that set up. We're going to think about the judges during the year, and we hope, it is hoped that the program next year will be bigger and better. So therefore, once again, I'd like to congratulate Bernard and Neil and Elda, and hopefully that they'll have just as much success next year. While I'm on that subject of beautification, I'll also touch on the thing this year, as we saw during this wicked northeast gale we had, where we saw the birders lose some beautiful trees. And of course, it wasn't just the birders that lost the trees. The town of Burgeo lost the trees and the beauty that goes with it. And I must say, I was sort of disappointed to see on Inspiration Road that the large juniper in front of Mrs. Pink's had to be cut down. You know, it was so beautiful and so large, but no doubt, I guess it was posing a threat to the house. And but I guess that's just some of the things that we have to go through in storms, and still consider ourselves lucky as compared to when you look to the south towards Florida and those places. Some time ago we asked for a zone board rep to represent Burgeo. Mr. Harvey Billard has come forward, and his name is being submitted to the zone board by the town council, and thank you, Harvey. We had a letter from Mayor Callahan of St. George's regarding the MRI unit for the West Coast. Now, Mr. Callahan has a petition going for different towns to endorse, and he would like to see the MRI unit put in Stephenville rather than Corner Brook. Now, going over the petition which Mr. Callahan had written up there, anyone reading it, and as it appeared to our council, it was more a justification for the Stephenville Hospital, and even went so far as to insinuate, to go far enough to say that it would also complement the Stephenville Airport if the MRI was in Stephenville. Well, you know, the city of Corner Brook lobbied hard to have that MRI unit put in Corner Brook. There was supposed to be a portable unit that would be shared between Corner Brook and the central area, and Corner Brook really went out and fought hard to have the MRI, a permanent MRI system, put in Corner Brook. You know, Burgeo would like to have the MRI unit put in the hospital there in Burgeo. It would guarantee the Burgeo hospital. It would have spin-offs that would complement our motel, and would you know, there would be spin-off benefits from something like that. But really, you know, the Burgeo Town Council is definitely not going to endorse that petition from Mayor Callahan. I think it's a great thing to get a MRI unit on the West Coast, and certainly we don't need to get into a fight between one community and another community on the West Coast as to who should have it. So therefore the Burgeo Town Council is not endorsing that petition for sure, and so hopefully the MRI unit will be on the West Coast, and the quicker the better. We were also in receipt of a letter from the Honorable Paul Shelley, in which Mr. Shelley informed us that $400 from his department will be made available to the Burgeo Town Council to put towards our playground. So we're thankful for that. We also had a letter from Minister Elizabeth Marshall, the Minister of Health. She's not that anymore, but she was when she wrote the letter. And in that she explained about the setup of the new health care boards, whereby the boards are going from 14 to 4, I think it is, and that there will be meetings in this area, and the town council will be keeping an eye out, and will probably have representation at one of these meetings when it is held in this region. Now I've got something here. I think I received the most insulting letter in my term 7 years as mayor, and I'm going to go into it in a little bit detail. Some time ago, in fact, it was on January the 31st, 2004, as you are all aware, our MP Bill Matthews and Mr. John Efford came into Burgeo and held a meeting with the Burgeo Town Council, at which we discussed several options to try get some more industry back into the Burgeo area, and more particularly to reactivate our fish plant. As you know, at that time we went with crab outside of 200, options such as seals, a community quota of seals for Burgeo, and also we went into a shrimp quota. And by a shrimp quota, we didn't mean to have a shrimp quota that would be produced here in Burgeo. What our town council had in mind at that time was that Burgeo would be allocated a shrimp quota such as Prince Edward Island was given some years ago, and Fogo Island has, and several other places have, a shrimp quota. And what we intended to do with that was to sell it in the water. We would sell it to the Danes or the Faroese or the Icelanders, whoever. And the revenue from this we thought we could use to subsidize some other form of industry in our town, or even subsidize maybe a fish bar such as a Seacrest or someone like that, rather Ocean Choice, who would then, if they could be subsidized with this, would see it feasible to come into Burgeo and start up a fish plant and start processing in Burgeo. This was our intent. January 31st, 2004. That's what our proposal was. We put it in a proposal. We sent it off to the Minister of Fisheries. We gave copies to Bill Matthews and Mr. Efford. Fine and dandy. We didn't get any response from that. On March the 8th, I wrote a letter on behalf of the council to the Prime Minister, reiterating parts of that proposal, and also asking him to get involved and get us a quota. That was on March the 8th, that we could sell in the water and so on. That was on March the 8th I sent that letter. We still didn't get a response. On May the 7th, I again wrote and requested an answer to our proposal and our letter of March the 8th. We still didn't get an answer. However, it must have been lying around there, and it must have been aggravating and driving someone nuts, because on September the 7th, I received this letter, and I'm going to read it so that you will get now the kind of letter that came back from the Prime Minister. He supposedly signed it. It says, "Dear Mayor Hann, thank you for your letter of May 7th. There's no mention of the one on March the 8th, and the May 7th one was to, reactivate. Thank you for your letter of May 7th, 2004, regarding the economic situation of the town of Burgeo and your proposal to use shrimp quotas to address this situation. The Government of Canada recognizes the challenges and opportunities facing coastal communities in Canada. It is for this reason that in setting priorities, the government stated in the speech from the throne that it remains committed to supporting economic development through the regional agencies, where the focus must be on strengthening the sinews of an economy for the 21st century, building on indigenous strength. The speech from the throne also indicates that the government will place increased emphasis on opportunities to maximize the potential of our vast coastal and offshore areas through a new Oceans Action Plan. Regarding the proposal to allocate shrimp quotas to the town of Burgeo, the Minister of Fisheries and Oceans recently released a policy framework for the management of the fisheries on Canada's Atlantic coast. The framework provides key principles for assessing options to inform fisheries management decisions on the allocation of quotas in a manner that promotes sustainable economic development. Thank you again for writing me on this important issue. Yours sincerely, Paul Martin, Prime Minister." Now, have you ever in your life read a letter that said nothing such as that letter is saying? Make no wonder it took so long to answer the letter. It would take that long for anybody to be able to put so much dribble on paper that says and means nothing. I mean, if you want to say no, then look up and say no. But this is absolutely ridiculous. I have left messages at Mr. Bill Matthews' office to respond to this, and I must say it's only lately that I did that, and I have nothing back. However, I can assure you that this will be addressed in a letter to Mr. Efford, to Mr. Matthews, And Mr. Loyola Hearn, no doubt, I've got full intentions of bringing him in the picture, because this is an insult to the intelligence of this council. It's an insult to the intelligence of the people of Burgeo. It can be viewed in no other way. If you want to say no, you can't do it, but don't write such crap and send it out to us. You know, I'm amazed, you know, that what politicians, who they think they are. Because if all our politicians are any good for is straightening up someone's EI or giving out 50-year anniversary certificates or attending firemen's balls and things of that nature, I sometimes question whether we even need them. You know, it's something else, but I must say that I've never seen such a ridiculous letter being sent to a body such as the town council as what we received there. And I just take it a step further. You know, I don't know how many people, how many among you listen to the fisheries broadcast. And recently, Mr. Trevor Taylor, on the broadcast, when speaking about Daly Brothers closing the plant in Inglee, and that they have no intentions of reopening it, or at least Daly Brothers doesn't. And Mr. Taylor said then that whether Daly's opens the plant or builds another plant in Inglee or not, that the crab processing facility will remain in Inglee, because to move that crab processing somewhere else would create a regional imbalance in the crab processing industry. Well, now, if you want regional imbalance in fish processing, well, what do you call that? There's not a crab plant from St. Lawrence all the way up the south coast, around Port aux Basques and down to the northern peninsula. There's not one crab plant. So there's another subject which I will be taking up with Mr. Taylor when I see him again, or I will be passing a letter to that effect. I honestly and truly thought that one of our politicians, either federal or provincial, would have picked up on that and made some response, but it's been a few weeks now and there's been none. And I just sometimes wonder, do they know what's going on within their region? And then again, do they really care? That was about it for our meeting. As you can see, this letter was a bit disturbing, and I think the people of Burgeo's got a reason to be disturbed when you're being treated like this. And I think it all stems back to the very simple fact that our vote is being taken for granted. We're too easy. We've been sucking this liberal cow for about 50 years. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't think the milk is very enriching. I don't know what you think, but I think it's time to stop and think before we cast a vote, whether it's next year or 2 or 3 years from now. Invoices were approved for payment in the amount of $10,170.80, and that was it, I guess, for our council meeting. There's one point I'd like to bring up. Mr. Hart Marsden in Ramia, he contacted me with regards to some time ago we had a little social club here. It was called the, I'm not sure what it was now, Jolly Seniors, I think it was, and that folded. But in any event, the Seniors Club in Ramia is quite active. Art at the Marystown Convention was elected the director for Western Newfoundland of the Newfoundland and Labrador Pensioners Federation. And apparently this is a social club that, you know, doesn't raise money to help other things or buy things for, you know, they don't raise money for any cause other than themselves. I think they just take care of themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, Art asked me to try and encourage the seniors, and what they call seniors is 50 plus. And he's going to try to reactivate a club here in Burgeo. Apparently they get together in Ramia and they have a big cook-up, and they play darts, and I don't know what else they do, but they go off on a lot of bus tours and so on, and it's all arranged through the Federation and so on. So, you know, it might be something to look into, and Hart is going to be in Burgeo on October the 16th, and he's holding a meeting at the Ground Search and Rescue building at 2 p.m. So October the 16th, there'll be a meeting to try form a seniors club. So any of you think that that's a great thing, then by all means try to get out and attend that meeting. The only other thing, there's two things. We've got, I don't know if any of you took notice to a sailing boat which is down by Hiscox Marine. And it's Mr. Hayden and Caroline Sealing. They're from the United States and visits Newfoundland every so often. And this year they decided that they're going to winter in Newfoundland, and they've chosen to stay at Burgeo. So we certainly welcome them to Burgeo and wish them all the best during the winter. And the other thing I suppose I could pass on, it's been brought to my attention that there's several boats out of Franceway which is coming into Burgeo to fish their cod quota. And while this cod may not do a big lot of good for Burgeo, in one extent, I guess the people who are coming, they're going to, I know one fellow's going to rent a house there for a month or so. So, you know, they'll be leaving, they'll be helping the economic situation in Burgeo somewhat during that month, I'm sure. We wish that the fish was staying here and being processed, but that's beside the point. I do want to welcome these fishers out of Franceway into Burgeo and wish them the best. So that's it from Council for this week. Good evening.
On Friday of this week, the Recreation Commission held a grand opening for the new Recreation Center. The ceremony got underway at 7 p.m. MC for the evening, Karen Banfield, welcomed everyone and did the introductions. She also gave some background about the Recreation Center and extended thanks to all the past Recreation Commission members. As you would expect for an occasion such as this, there were a number of speakers. RMHA Calvin Parsons was one of the scheduled speakers. Bill Matthews, our MP, was invited. However, he was unable to attend. Mayor Ann was also present and spoke on behalf of the town. Reverend Dean Sellers gave God's blessing on the building. Next on the agenda was the ribbon cutting ceremony.
Now we've come to the ribbon cutting ceremony part of our ceremony, and at this moment I'd like to ask Derek and Jonathan to come over and give me a hand getting the ribbon and stuff ready. And I'd like to call upon our mayor and Calvin Parsons to hold the ribbon. We have two students who are going to actually do the ribbon cutting ceremony. We talked about this at great length in our meetings. And the Recreation Center is for everyone. We really hope that our young people will use it as much as they possibly can. So what we did at the school is we put all the names in a bag, and we drew one name from kindergarten to grade 5, and we drew one name from grade 6 to grade 12. And the lucky winners were Madison Cox, who was in kindergarten, and Rochelle Domney, and boy, I hope I get this right, grade 7, 8, boy, I'm getting old. So I'd like to ask Rochelle and Madison if they could come forward. Whenever you're ready. I think they look so cute, don't you?
Gord Tucker and Karen Buckland were given the honor of cutting the cake for this momentous event. After the speakers, many of our local entertainers took to the stage to entertain us with their musical abilities. This part of the celebration continued until about 10 p.m. At 11 p.m., A&A Disco provided the music for the community dance. We wish the Rec Commission every success with their new center. Stay with us for Off the Rack, the community events, and the BBS Playbill, all after this.
Never again the horrors of war. I'm Cliff Chatterton of the War Amps. Hollywood glamorizes war. Through our Never Again video series, we tell it like it was. But we have another responsibility, to do everything we can to avoid global conflict. Oh yes, a military deterrent if necessary, but we must teach younger generations about the need to prevent war. How? Through Operation Legacy.
As members of CHAMP, we've had a close bond with the war amputees, ever since we were kids.
We've learned about Canada's military heritage
from those who are actually there.
Now we can pass on that message through presentations, videos, and our own website.
Operation Legacy isn't just about remembering.
It's commemoration with a message.
That message? Never again.
It was our war. It is their legacy.
Off the Rack. This week, as we scanned our tape rack, we came across a tape of when Norman Strickland caught the first coyote in the Burgeo area. Let's look back to January 1999.
Sit for a fox like you normally would. And I've been catching a few foxes in the area. And when I went in today and checked my traps, I had a surprise waiting for me. It was a female coyote. Coyote, I guess she weighs about 40 pounds, or probably a little better. I haven't seen any tracks of coyotes in the area, although I saw 2 tracks further in the road this summer. I had to dispatch it with a stick that was really hard to kill. But it is the first one that's been caught here in Burgeo. I understand there's one more caught in Grey River this year.
Yeah, I guess the adrenaline was pumping when you went to his trap.
Really pumping, really pumping.
So did you think it was a coyote first?
I was scared at first I might have had somebody's German Shepherd dog, because it looked a lot bigger when I saw it than it does now when it's dead. But when I got up close, I realized it was a coyote before I killed it.
So I guess that means now you're a top-notch trapper, does it?
I wouldn't go that far to say.
Oh, I thought that was the saying amongst the trappers. If you caught a coyote, that meant you was a top-notch trapper.
But it really feels good to
I'm sure,
catch the first one down there.
Yes, it certainly is, yeah. And it's certainly a nice animal. So what do you intend to do with it now?
I'm planning on getting it mounted for souvenir purposes.
Oh, very good. Well, thanks for phoning us and let us know.
Okay, thanks, Marie.
You're welcome.
Good evening. Welcome to the community event segment of tonight's broadcast. I'm Rebecca Young. The Burgeo Academy will be hosting TV Bingo on Wednesday, October 6th at 7 p.m. One game for $300. Cards are $6 for $5 and are available from any student and are in most stores around town. Please support Burgeo Academy, play TV Bingo, and you could win $300. Do you have some extra time on your hands? Are you looking for something to fill that time? Maybe helping out with children is what you are looking for. The Anglican Church is looking for Sunday school teachers to help out with their Sunday school program. They need help with their grade 6 class particularly. If you feel you can be of help, please call Elsie Rose at 886-2559. The flu shots have arrived and will be available each Wednesday from 2 to 4 p.m. If you have not received the flu shot before, you will need to book an appointment with your family doctor in order to receive it. The ICW will host a card game on Wednesday, October 6th at 8:30 p.m. at the Parish Hall. The cost is $5 and lunch will be served. We will be playing whist. Everyone is invited to attend, men and women. Come along for an evening of fun and fellowship. The Burgeo Lions will celebrate World Lions Day on Thursday, October 7th at 6 p.m. at the Community Center. If you are a senior, widow, widower, or you are a visiting senior, widow, or widower, you are invited to help them celebrate World Lions Day. Supper will be served at 6 p.m., followed by a card game and dance. For free transportation, please call 886-2850. For those who collect and save recyclables, you are informed that recyclables will be collected on Monday, October 4th. If you are not going to be at home, please leave them on your bridge or lawn. All proceeds from this collection will go to the Recreation Center. Upcoming events. Monday, October 11th, Anglican Cold Plate Takeout. Saturday, November 20th, LOBI Christmas Craft and Bake Sale. Saturday, November 27th, Anglican Vestry Christmas Sale. Sunday, November 28th, Lioness Christmas Sale. Thursday, December 2nd, UCW Fall Sale. Saturday, December 11th, United Church Cake Plus Sale. We will have more details on all of the events at a later date. If your group or organization has an upcoming event planned, we would be happy to advertise it for you. Just call the BBS office by Wednesday of each week to have items included in this portion of our broadcast. That concludes the community event segment of tonight's broadcast. See you next week.
BBS Playbill. Try your luck on Wednesday by playing Burgeo Academy TV Bingo. Join Pansy and the gang for 2 stories, a craft, and lots of fun on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on Pansy's Garden. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. For This Week in Review, I'm Marie Rose. Good night and God bless.